Hello, everybody. Sorry I was running a few minutes late tonight. I get so involved with this quilt that it's hard for me to stop. So hello, everyone. Let me get my glasses on. Hi, Kathleen Ziegler. We have missed you, sweetie. So good to see you. Hi, Linda Ramos. So good to see you too. Oh gosh, and Polly's here. Hi, Miss Polly and Marcia. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. So, let me get busy with starting this. Oh, yeah, you see my quilt? That is my Ricky Tim's kaleidoscope. And I was working on the borders this week. And then my little Maisie ended up with a ruptured back end problem that small dogs often get. So yesterday I spent most of the day taking care of Maisie, taking her to the vet. They had to fit her in. We had to wait. I'm trying. I really am trying, I tell you. So anyway, it ended up being a busier week than I thought it would be, but I have worked on the quilt today. Hello, Barbara Smith. There's Marlinda McCollum. It's so good to see her. Betty Middleton. You've been in Ohio. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I am enjoying the Ricky Tim's. If you can see the strip that's hanging down, I've decided for my inner border to use the tan, the light color that is so dramatic in the design. I decided to use that as my inner border, but I flanked it with thin half-inch strips of the black. So, and then I think I'm going to try to kind of try to use up. I want to use up all my leftovers, my strip sets and stuff. But I had hoped to have more of it done. But you know what? Life gets busy and something always happens. So it's a good to see you. And let's get started. You're on your way to Michigan, Barbara. Oh, cool. That's wonderful. Okay. Well, here is the quilt. And I worked very hard on it today to get the background going. And I got let me tell you what, this has been a real pistol. Polly, I hope you waited for me to figure out best ways to try to do the sun filtering through, because it was tough. But I did some more work getting the background just the way I wanted. Then it now has the tulle on it. Do you see the tulle on it? And then to try to do the sun rays coming through back here, and I made sure it went behind this tree to really make it back in the distance. But I put extra tulle, and then, oh gosh, I tried using, hold on just a second. I tried using, let me see where they are. They should be over here because I've been so frantic trying to get this done today that I just took stuff and tossed it over. Let me see if I can find them. I took thin little strips. I'm not seeing them right now, but I took thin little strips of the lightest buttery yellow fabric, okay? I took that fabric and I took and raveled the edges, trying to make it look real feathery. And I put that on. It was too bright. I ripped all that back off. So I tried doing some ink tints pencils of the light rays coming through. Now, I wanted to show you one thing. See this right here? When I tried to put the tulle across here, because in my inspiration, the it went into some of these woods. It came like behind this tree and in through here. So I ran the tool across, and I have to tell you, it was too much. I mean, it's just too bright. So rays of the sun are tricky. Oh, here's one of them. Here's one of those yellow strips. And this one, you know what? I hadn't even shredded this, but what I was doing is I was pulling out threads to try to leave the edges real feathery. It was still too opaque. So you would have to find something that's totally translucent. But what I did is took my tool and kind of just did a folded over piece. I put some fusible behind it and then used a special pressing paper because I knew it would come through the tool. And I've been very careful. If I iron over the tool, I use a low temperature iron. But, oh, you did do it? Did it work out, Miss Polly? I'm real curious. But I've been working on this. Then I went back in. Yeah, I guess you can see where the sun is streaking through. But I went back in and took some Inktense markers or pencils and worked on darkening some of my trees because I found that when I lightened the background, the trees needed a little more definition. So I'm still not sure if this is too light on here. I'll tell you what I ended up doing. This is what I ended up doing. I tried using the Inktense and it wasn't as big a response as I wanted. So then what I did is I went and got some of my acrylic paints, okay? Because I said I need to get a more definition than my Inktense has given me. Oh, okay, you did wait for me. Okay. And so what I ended up doing is taking like a cream color and a palish yellow, putting them in a little dish, thinning them out with water, taking and lightly stroking them on, keeping a paper towel at the ready, and as I'm stroking this acrylic paint on, wiping it, rubbing it, sometimes scratching it off if it was too heavy. So I was kind of just giving it a drive-by misting, the lightest little bit, because I tried to use the Inktense, and it was it helped. Trust me, it helped. But I needed to get, and I think it's still too definite on there. So I may even go back over it with another layer of tulle to try to soften it down. So, but I wanted you to be able to see it, but not for it to be, boom, there the sunlight coming through. So this week I got good response to filling in this side, okay? And so I went back over and did a little more definition work on this side because I realized that's what that's what you would notice the most. And then I put back the branches after I put the tulle on. I put the branches back on and I put the tree. And what we're going to work on tonight, and if you have a little sponge brush and water, that's really good to come behind the acrylics and thin them out. But I'm even wondering if I'm going to take off that tulle in the forest. I'm just not sure. Let me show you something really quickly. Oh, let me see. Yeah, I sure do I need a deer or something in there. Okay, let me show you the inspiration for the sun rays, okay? Here is the inspiration. Now, they had it bigger and more diffuse, okay? I didn't want it that big because I didn't want it to block out all of my background. But you can see the stripy parts at the top. And I think one of my problems is I might have my stripies a little too thin. And let me see if there is another one that has the good streaks of sun coming through, because I had a couple of them. Here's one. Let me see if I can get this to come up. Yeah, I think my streaks are too... Now what I'm seeing. This has the thin streaks, but it also has some wide ones. And the whole area is a little diffused. So what I think I might do then is go back in and make them wider first. But let me show you this again so you can see it. But so does that help? But so it's got the narrow, but see they're closer together. And then it's got a big one here. I didn't want to fade out my background too much. Now let me go back to the other ones, which here, this one, I see the stripes coming through here and like here and here. Yeah, and they are wider than what I've got. So I think that might be one of my problems. But I don't want to do this much because then I'll lose all the little trees and stuff I have in the background. For that part of the background, I'm using this one. And I like this little activity here. So notice this part right here. And you see the branch that comes over. So now let me show you. Hold on just a second. Do you see, I didn't want to lose... I put a lot of work into this area of the woodlands because, like I told you, I wanted to use mostly fabric to show distance, to show a different atmosphere. Here, it's clear, more bold, and then as you go down this path, all of a sudden you come into a clearing, and in the clearing is a pool of sunlight, okay? So that's one of the reasons I don't want to make the streaks of sunlight too wide because then they'll take over. So let me real quickly come back to y'all. All right, let's see. Oh, okay, yes, I will certainly bring over that. Hold on just a second. Okay, here is my Ricky Tim's kaleidoscope, and this is my inner border I was telling you about. I like how crisp this strip worked out, so I decided to put the dark on either side, and then that will come up. That will go as the inner border. And then whoops, y'all couldn't really see that. Let me pin it right here. This is going to be the inner border that will go around the whole thing, and then I will use the leftover pieces. But I've already got this one on here, right there. I've just got it hanging on there. But I decided to do a little bit more complex of an inner border. Oh, yes, I did. I made sure to see Cave Facet's wonderful lecture. And, oh, he's amazing. Let me see. Oh, my gosh. I found out we should have a Cave Facet contest one day. But, hold on, it's so bright. Let me turn it off so I can show you a couple things. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Go to my gallery. Oh, okay. Let me see my gallery. This was the last screen of his show, and it says, "That's all, folks." But try to guess. Oh, my battery's low. Let me go back just for a couple. But here he is outside of his home in England, and he had that mosaic where his arm is leaning, where he's leaning against. That's a mosaic of hollyhocks that he had put out front of his house. But his very favoritist thing in the world is knitting. And then he loves needlepoint, and then he loves painting, and then he loves designing quilts. He has a quilt maker to do his quilts. Now, here's one of his needlepoint pillows. So I'm not going to show you everything, just a few things. It was so worth it. He was actually live. He was really there. It wasn't some pre-taped thing. And it was only $20. And he talked to us for about an hour and 15 minutes. I was really, really pleased. And basically, he doesn't teach color like a color wheel. In fact, he said that when he took an art course, if he went to art school, because he wanted to be a fine art painter, when he went to art school and they pulled out a color wheel and we're going to teach him about a color wheel, he got up and left. He quit school. So he said he's instinctual, and he didn't want that messing up his enjoyment, love, feeling about color. Let me get a drink. This is a little bit of lemonade with some water. So anyway, all right, now that I showed you that, my camera, though, is dying, so I had to turn it off. But, oh, my gosh, for $20 for that lecture, and we did it on Zoom. I did it at home with my laptop. It is so worth it. So if any of you are interested in things like that, please go check out Mancuso. Now, I know other things like AQS, they're doing virtual quilt shows, and I'm hoping that Mancuso will continue to do virtual along with the live shows. For some of us who can't travel or it's too far or whatever, I love it. So there's a current quilt show going on right now, and I'm trying to think if it's the International Quilt Show. But if you go to mancuso.com, you'll see it. And then at their Lancaster show in September, I'm taking a class. I'm so excited. So keep that in mind. And I know that the show in September is going to be an in-person show, but they're still doing some virtual classes. So I wrote and said, please keep that up, because, people like me who I'm not going to go to anything live right now with this current breakout of virus. So I'm back. Mark and I talked about how disappointing it is to go back to masks and being afraid. So not too afraid, because I am vaccinated, but it's a mess out there, and God forbid you have to go to the hospital. There's no room at some of these hospitals. So, but enough of that. All right. So this is my Ricky Timms. And if you want to work on this kaleidoscope, it was sponsored by thequiltshow.com, which of course is his and Alex's business. And it was free, and you can go to thequiltshow.com, go to learn and look it up, and it's still right on the website. And I'm trying to get it done because he wants to have a display of all the quilts. And so I'm really anxious. Hi, Miss Jody. Oh, isn't it hard to cut into K-facet fabric? He was talking about he just loves color. In fact, they said ask questions. And I asked a question that I knew was a no-no question. I said, what is your favorite color? And he said, what is your favorite breath? He said, color is breathing. And how can you have a favorite? So I kind of had a feeling that, it was going to be a similar answer to that. Oh, you're quite anemic. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Well, I tell you what, taking a class or a lecture like I did is such a joy. And it was wonderful. When I was all done, Mark said, "Well, how was your lecture?" I said, "It was fabulous. It was wonderful." He said, "You say that every time you watch a lecture on one of the Mancuso shows," which I do because I love them. The last time it was, what's her name? She lives in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, not far from me. Brubaker Knapp. Is it Sharon Brubaker Knapp? Karen? Oh, anyway, it was her lecture, and I was just as in love with that one. But to be able to see Kay Fassett sort of live, how exciting was that? Okay, so anyway, I am so sorry, Kathleen. I'm hoping you can get your blood stronger so then they can go ahead and do your surgery, sweetheart. It's really hard. It's really, really hard. And, different things are going on right now, and we just have to be so careful. Here are the ink tints made by Derwent, an English company. And they now, I think, have a whale on this side. But, Deb, it's SUS. What is SUS? Now she's got me curious. Oh, she took it out. Okay. So the last major thing I have now, I didn't rush on this. I was hoping to have it pretty much finished, but my best sewing machine, the sewing machine that I do, the sewing machine that I do my thread painting with is still at the shop. And they're waiting for a part to come in, and it's frustrating. I thought while I was here, and I know I need to widen these little marks here a little, that I would show you. I thought I had maybe I didn't. Okay. Let me get my paper towel. I keep a roll of paper towels down here because I use them all the time. Okay, so I've got a little bit of the acrylic paint with water, okay? And I'm just going to come along here and dab, dab, dab like this, okay? And I'm just going to do these two right now. Acrylic paint is washable and malleable as long as it hasn't dried. Once it's dried, whoops, don't get it there. Once it's dried, it is permanent. So I thought, well, maybe I'll show you kind of how, since I need to kind of widen these lines a little. But it's just a matter of getting in and being firm with it. Like that already started to dry. So I'm going to come here, wet this paper towel, use my fingernail a little bit, okay, and then just kind of come in, dab, dab, dab. Whoops. Yeah, I didn't want to go over that branch, but dab this a little bit to kind of soften this edge of the line. Let me pick up a little more. Okay, now let me come back. I've got these lights on, which I've got to remember that makes it dry a little faster. I'm going to dab on both sides of the stripe because I'm thinking if I can just get a real pale and see how I kind of scrub it. So make sure you have your stuff ironed down good and glued down good because I kind of scrub it. But this way I'm going to make them a little bit wider and see if they, whoops, don't get it on that, Deb. Okay, just scrub it here and scrub it here and then come in and soften it. And I think that looks better. I think that does. All right, so I'm going to pick up a little bit more water and go back in. And I'm mostly getting the cream with just a little bit of yellow in it. Now I'm going to come up to this one. Ooh, that was some strong paint there. So I'm going to quickly put that on. And then I do like having the thicker piece of the tool, but it still needed color. Just putting the tool on wasn't enough. I used white tool and it just wasn't enough. Now, when I come close over here to this tree, if I get any of this residual powdery paint on here, then I just come back in with my ink tints and sharpen that edge up. But so here's how I do that, okay? Let me go ahead and do this other one. Whoops, didn't mean to get that there. Okay, and see how I just kind of scrub it on. I'm in a hurry because I know it's going to want to dry, and you just rub off. And you know, you can do this as many times as you want. I would rather do it. Whoops, I would rather do it in several passes and get the right consistency than to do it all at once. So I'm going to come back and do a little bit lighter here. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to work. That just spreading out that lightness, and boy, when you have very little bit on the brush, on that sponge brush, it works much better. And I like using the sponge because I can really mush it around. It's easier to do that than with the bristles. And I'll just keep looking at this, and if it looks too thick or too strong, I will keep scraping it off. In fact, I'm going to come in and do a little bit more. Sometimes it gets stuck behind the tool a little bit. So if you just come in and give it some little scrubbing, then you can dull it down. Okay, let's see. Let me turn off this overhead light because it tends to make things look the wrong color. Now, let me hold it up. But I tried I've tried pale white fabric. It was too, and see, this is also, don't forget that this is still wet, so it'll fade down as it dries. So that's the only way. I did do some ink tints. I did try the fabric dyes, and it's hard to get it lighter like that. I did try using fabric, and it was just a little tricky. So when you think you've got something pretty good on here, and I'm just making sure I don't have any blobs of it on here, then I will take my iron and calm it down, make sure some things that maybe got lifted up. Well, my iron has not, when it goes off, it doesn't come back on its own. So I'm getting sad about that because I haven't had it long enough for it to be acting up. But, okay. And like I said, I've only got it on a 3 right now on polyester because I'm afraid to melt the tool. All right. Now let's see. Let me hold it back up. It's kind of tricky. I think it's a little better. Now, let's say I look at it later and go, oh, it's too white or it's too yellow. Then I'll come back in here with my ink tints, pencils, and I'll put some green wherever I need to kind of, make it look. In fact, let's try one of those. This is what I love doing because you watch as I try to figure this out myself. Now, I'm going to come in here with a mild green ink tints. Okay, let's let the camera focus. And the color is apple green. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's say I'm a little worried right here that it's too light. And what you would do is kind of use the colors that are in the background of this. So where I have a little darker green, put that in. Then I want to get as much of this. Let me see. Oh, no, that's got a lot of paint. I want to get as much of this off as I can. Come put a little bit of water. And then when I come and put the water on, some of the green will come back through. So that may be something that I want to do, like right here, like right here. Some of the areas that are more green, then I will come in here, do some ink tints, and let's see, do some ink tints and bring some of the back. Oh, I like that. I like how that looks. So what I may do right there is take a light brown, and a very pale gray. Let me see. Where's my gray? Where's my gray? Here it is. Is this it? No. Here it is. Okay. Here is a light charcoal gray. And, I might have this on a little thick. Let me see. Okay. Now, let me dip the brush in, and I want to have my rag here. Oh, no, that did pretty good. Look at that. Once the water hit it, that's the good thing about having the water. So if I had the medium, it wouldn't blend as easily. But see how now the trees are coming through the tool a little better? So what I might do from here, to keep it from being a little too pronounced, is to come with the ink tints and gently try to bring through a little bit of the background, because the sunlight, when it comes through, oh, thank you. The sunlight, when it comes through, it fades it, but you don't want it to block out the back. Okay, does that make sense? And that's why you've got these stripes over in the trees, because in one of my inspirations, it did, but I didn't show it. This one's going to be in the foreground, and the light's coming through to those. All right, so I think that's pretty good. I am very surprised. I'm very, very surprised what it took and how hard it was to get the sunlight to come through. Because when I looked at it, I thought, I'll just do a light fabric, or I'll use ink tints. And I found, to get that translucent lighted look, it was tricky. It was tricky. All right, here we go. Now, what I have left to do before I start thread painting, and don't forget, here's some more. Here's some of the white tulle that I used. And because since it's such a light background, I thought I would want to use a light gray tulle or white. All right, I'm going to keep all my stuff handy. Both my glues. All right. But here I am. And what I have left, I will show you. Here is my overlay right here. So it shows me, I've already got these branches right here. These show up here. And I let one run a little bit longer, but that's okay. So I need to place something right here. Let me see. I'm going to now, whoops, I'm not pointing down for y'all so you can see. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Now, so I've got these branches. I've got some others up there. I've got this one started, but I'm going to put an X. I'm going to take this chalk marker and put an X here. because I need to build this out more. And I want to kind of come, in fact, I'm going to just draw. I want it to fill up more of that area. Then I need to come here. Whoops, I'm going to need a different color chalk. Let me grab a new color. What I'm going to do, so I don't have to constantly flip it back and forth and back and forth, what I'm going to do is mark where I need the branches. These branches are the most important of all because these, okay, we've got the light coming from behind the trees. That gives it depth. Over here, same thing. That works. But the problem we have is we need to get depth here. And yes, compared to down here, we've got depth, and compared to here and here. But what about over that? Because this is a misty woodland. Hi, Alberta. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, I bet you it's hot up there. It has been hot down here, hot and miserable. Okay, so let me lay this, get it oriented right. Okay, now I'm going to take this blue chalk so I can see it against all the green and yellow, and I need to have a branch right here. Okay, so I draw that in. Then I need to have a branch right here. Now draw that in. And then a little bit of one here. And one here. And then one here. And these have medium or light, and I can even write that with the chalk. But this is good because it just reminds me of where I need to have some of these. All right, and this one, I need one that's thin enough to go across here. All right. I've already done these. That is good. And then it looks like I need one. Oh, no, I've got that right there. So that's going to work. All right. So now I kind of know where, oh, okay, I'm supposed to have another one across here, so I'll put that. All right. So now I've got them marked. And these are the last big pieces to come in. Yes, let's stay inside the air conditioning. All right, so now I'm going to keep this handy because see how it says medium green, medium and dark green, medium, a light branch share, medium, light, I've already got the lights there. Medium green. All right, so I'm going to leave that right there so I can look up and know. Now, here are the two fabrics that I got from Missouri Star Quilting, and somebody told me, I think it was Susan, told me about 1,000 Bolts, and they have both of these fabrics there too. So that was very nice. All right, here are these two fabrics. And don't forget, you can use the front or the back, depending on where you're doing it. What I like is, see how the front is a more verdant green, a more bright green? Look how the back looks kind of grayed. That's a great way to get distance. All right, and to some of y'all who won prizes who might not have them yet, I promise I'm going to get them out. My little doggy has been sick this week and thrown everything off, and I'm already behind as it is. So I'm going to consider this a medium dark green. I'm going to consider this a medium green, okay? And what I like about these is I like that they have movement in them. Now, some have, this is still a green, but it still looks leafy. These have a few little leaves, but not too many that it makes it an exact copy. Medium dark green. I'm going to go in an area that is pretty dark. So I'm going to come here. I don't know if this will go through or not. Maybe I'm kind of curious if it'll cut through the tissue. And the tissue is actually golden threads, translucent paper. Let me see. It went through a little bit. So look, I'll have to draw that by hand. If you want to, you can cut the shape out and use that as a template. All right. So it goes like this, down and around. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to cut this one out so I can get ready and put that on. All right. I'll move this aside for the moment. And I told myself to try to have all these cut out, so all you would see is me gluing them down going, voila, isn't that beautiful? But boy, I tell you, I tend to be a perfectionist, and if something's not quite what I thought it was, I will work and work and work. And then it gets me all behind. I get so super focused. So almost got this cut out. And remember, keep everything nice and wiggly. I read someone say, they said, act like you had too much caffeine, which I thought was precious. So this one is going to go right here, just dipping over that. Now, let me get some glue here. Come on, glue. I've had my glue open a while, and it's probably a little dried in the opening, so let me see. Come on, glue. Here it comes. Now, I'm going to put a little more glue on here than I normally do, just because it's got to go through the tool and stick to the fabric. All right, and this, I can see by the drawing, it's supposed to go right here. So there is that. And what I like about the dark color is it really then sets off the back. All right, now I'm going to put a medium one under this one. So let me draw out this medium one. All right, now let me cut this out. Whoa, I've got this a little big, so let me cut it down just a little. Sometimes when I get drawing, boy, I go to town. And this fabric is Essentials from Wilmington Fabric Designer. All right, so I'm going to come here. Okay, and then all right. Now this one's going to go here. Yep, like this. Up on top of that. Okay, so let me get some glue on this. Now, don't forget that when I do thread painting, I can come in here and use highlighted colors and I'll make sure I have this. Yeah. Okay. And so that's going to go there. And then I'll have another one. I'm going to go ahead and do one more. But these are the branch, the leafy branches that really bring the depth and the distance to bear, okay? Because they are much darker than the background. Okay, I wanted to make that a little thinner. Sometimes I make them a little too thick. So, well, all right. Medium, dark, and medium. This is the light one back here. I see that. And another medium to go. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Uh-oh, sweetie. Kathleen, please take good care. Thank you for the thumbs up reminder. But take good care of yourself. Get your blood strong again so we can get your surgery and get you up and moving, darling. But it's so good to see you this week. Thank you. Okay, we missed you too, Alberta. We really did. So I worry if I don't see y'all sometimes. It's like, uh-oh. Okay, this one is going to go into this tree line over here. So I'm going to it's going to come up this way and then around like this. And then it's going to kind of go like this. Oh, and my poor granddaughter lost her guinea pig. I didn't know guinea pigs could get bloat. But he was an elderly guinea pig and there was not much to do to save him. So, but the good news is she wanted to get another one right away. She said she didn't want to have that cage in her room looking so empty. So they went and she got a 3-month-old baby girl guinea pig. She named her Pansy. And so I'm excited for her. All right. Okie doke. So now guinea pigs can make really sweet pets. You've got to be really good at keeping the cages clean. But we had a woman on here. She hasn't been with us for a while, but Akko, and she had wonderful group of guinea pigs. And those guinea pigs had the best life you could ever imagine. So, okay, now I'm cutting this one up. This will probably be the last one that you actually see me go to put up, but I just wanted you to get an idea of how I cut it. And don't worry about freehand cutting it. If there's something happens and you go, well, I don't really like that, no problem. You can do it again. Make a whole new one. Okay, let me see. All right, this one, I'm supposed to have this light one, which is right here. So this one's going to kind of come up here and go quite a ways over. All right, so I'll glue this one down and then I'll do the rest when you're not here. And then hopefully if I get my sewing machine back, I'm going to start. And I will just thread paint over the tulle. I'll have to be careful with it, but I got thinking about it, and I didn't want to not get the tulle put on here. And I said, well, I didn't know really which way was supposed to be right or wrong anyway, so I don't think that bothers me too badly. And because I hadn't really, I kind of think of this as I go. I don't like planning too much because planning kind of removes some of the excitement for me. All right. So there goes over here. All right. There we go. All right. And there will be a few more of these that I'll put, and I may mix in a few of the other lighter or darker fabrics to give interest. And if I do that, but now see how with their design they look like leaves. You can definitely see that this right here. That's a marble. It doesn't really. It reads different colors, but it doesn't read leaves. But look how that reads leaves. See those? So that's why I went looking specifically for fabric that would read as leaves, because I was not in the mood to do what do you call it? Confetti. Not in the mood to do confetti today. All right. So and I've got some branches, a branch to go up here, and then I've got a little bit maybe on either side here. But now let me move back, and I think now you'll see that having those in the front gives that much more depth to the photo, to the woodlands. So I hope that gives you an idea. And I knew soon as I put these on, and I will probably put little bits of light in here, but don't forget, I can come in with a very light yellow thread when I do my thread painting, and I can do squiggles that are reminiscent of leaves. So I like using fabric as much as I can, so I don't have to do as much thread painting. A tunnel, yes, exactly. Very good, Patricia. It's supposed to kind of look like you're walking down, and then it opens up. And that's why I love the branches that go across. I think they're so, so pretty. Let me show you one more time the inspiration photo that I used. Let me find my mouse. Where is my mouse in the house? Okay. As you can see, this area, look at this. This is a mess, but that's how I work. You just have to have everything out in front. Okay, look, no, not that one. This one. Okay. Now, I'm looking now, and I like how these were lighter and leafier. So what I'm going to do is go in and cut out some of those and make the edges a lot more jaggedy. Okay. And when I do that, then I think I'm really going to like it, because right now it's too blob-like. So I'm going to go in and take out like this space right here. I'm going to make the edge a little more jaggedy. Like, look at that. I mean, that is definitely good. And I can come back in with white ink tints and put some highlights. But I think what I'll do is try to make it so that the branches are not quite so monolithic. These, okay, I see why I did these, but these are lacier. So I'm glad that I'm checking that, because I want to keep that light, airy, lacy look. So I will be, and it's just a matter of take your time, take a fine little pair of scissors, and just do the little cutting, the cutouts. And what I can do is look at the inspiration, then draw that, highlight that on the fabric, and then cut it out. And if you use fusible or glue, then you just put it back down, press it down, and you've got it. All right, so once I get those few things done, then it's just waiting for my sewing machine to come in and doing thread painting and highlighting, because each layer, as I've told you, this, for the most part, is just blocking color. For the most part, this is just color blocking. We've still got the highlighting to do, the thread painting, which will add that extra layer to bring it alive. And that's what we want. And then, of course, I've got to find a way to put a creature in there, which, thank you to Kathleen Ziegler for reminding me. So now let's go see what I've got of yours. All right. Real quickly, see if we've got some art quilts. handy. Miss Betty, we showed her stuff on Sunday, and it is so wonderful. It's worth seeing again. So let me bring this up. All right. I love this bird. This heron is just amazing. I love, love, love it. Isn't that terrific? Way to go, Miss Betty. And then here's her beach scene. And I love this too. And I love the way she let the ruffly edge and the gathered fabric and it looks like cheesecloth do the work for her and create the waves. Isn't that wonderful? Way to go. And she even here, looks like she either sewed down some kind of fluffy yarn or something to look like the distant waves. So, and I love her shells and all of that. Just a wonderful job. And around this sea fence, she used floss to look like the wire. So that's wonderful. All right. Let's see. Miss Charlene Pfeiffer, Charlene Lawson, I believe, has been doing. Charlene Lawson is working on the Ricky Timms. I can't wait to see what else she comes up with. All right. And then Miss Charlene Pfeiffer, she has a nice landscape of a winter lake here. Lovely. All right. Mainly I'm showing art quilts now. So, and of course, we must show our creature. He is so handsome. Very, very handsome. His eyes are a little beady, but otherwise he's a handsome fellow. I love him. All right, let's see who else we have. Linda McCollum always has beautiful artwork to share with us. Look at that. And I love how she does organic matter with it. I mean, she just really incorporates all kinds of feeling into this. Look at her wonderful boho beads. They are terrific. Here's some little birds. And look at her felt mouse. Is that the cutest? She even made little glasses for him. And look at this one. How cute is that? And this guy, if he started talking right now, it wouldn't surprise me in the least. Very great felt work. And then I love all of these. They remind me of like milk caps or something, and they're wonderful. And I love that she keeps her hands busy, because I believe busy hands equals a happy heart, let me tell you. All right. Then Miss Lisa, I'll show hers one more time. I love her art quilts. Beautiful, beautiful. And you know what? It just takes a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And before you know it, you have a work of art. And I love how she put this lace, this pink lace along that stick to hold the quilt. So think outside the box. And before we go, when I come back, I'm going to talk about what we're going to look at next time. All right. Now let me see. I'm not sure if Miss Melanie, no, she's got a great job on her binding tool star. But we're looking for art quilts, and if you have seen Sundays, you know that Miss Nadine is doing beautiful work on her art. And stamping, coloring, I mean, it's just beautiful. Look at this. I love the painting that she's doing. So way to go, Miss Nadine. Now, let's see who is next. Let me see. Oh, Patricia is not an art quilt, but I love her studio. That is a woman who is a busy creator, and I love it. There's so much to do. So such a great work area. You can easily turn from one space to another. It's everything right there for her to see. So great work, Patricia. All right, Miss Polly. Miss Polly, I can't wait to see. I love how she has that translucence in the background, and that makes these just pop. So I can't wait to see. Here is her inspiration. I can't wait to see how this comes out. So very, very good job. Okay. And I love that she's working it out her way, and that's important. All right, I think our last one, just to remind you, is a wonderful collage dog quilt by Teresa Louise. I love to quilt. Beautiful, beautiful job. All righty. So let me come back to you guys. Whoops. Let me turn on the lamp. All right. Here we go. Let me come back to you guys. All righty. Any questions, anyone? Any questions? Thank you for your picture. Oh, yes. We're supposed to talk about next week. All right. I thought I would try to do one more art quilt before I take a couple weeks of a break. Doing 2 shows a week sometimes is a little much for me, and I've got a real busy September coming up. So we'll see how it goes. But I saw something the other day that I really liked, and it was as if, and I will finish this one and I'll show you some more thread painting. But let's get started on the one more project before we take a few weeks break. And what I want you to do is either using fabric or painting your own fabric. I want you to make a dramatic background, maybe something like this. So is it a sunset sky or what? And a shadow of a landmass. Now, you can go any direction. I'm just kind of describing. And then what about a craggy tree? And then what I want you to do is one of your edges, I want it to be a so-called live edge. Okay, I'm going to borrow that term from furniture makers. A live edge, meaning that instead of it being a nice, pretty rectangle, the live edge could follow whatever's going on in your sky. Or if you do something with water, maybe it could be a craggy, it could be on a hill, craggy lighthouse with the roaring waves. But I just want you to do one of your sides. Hi, Charlene Lawson. Oh, you sent me? Let me see if I can find it. So I want one of the edges. This quilt that I saw like this that had the roots of the tree, that part of the edge of that quilt went right along with the roots of the tree. I thought that was fascinating. Let me real quick check Charlene's, because I love seeing your new ones. So let me see. Put my glasses on, Deb. All right. Let me see. Oh, I don't see it. Wait a minute. Let me see. You know what? I got an email and it had no picture on it. I'm sorry, sweetie. If you sent it Sunday afternoon, I got the email, but there was no photo on it. I apologize, darling. And I meant to write you back and tell you. I think I wrote you back, I thought, but I might not have made it clear that I didn't get the photo. So, if you sent it just recently, maybe it hasn't come in yet. But, oh boy, I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be very special. Let me see. Is there anything else? Nope. I checked one more time just to make sure. Okay. So be thinking of what kind of little scene that you might want to work on. And this is going to be very bare bones. I mean, just you can make your own twirling sky or vibrant sky by cutting strips, big collage strips. This is not going to be little finicky. And just one object, like a gnarly tree with or without leaves, maybe showing the roots, just something that is going to be easy and free and really work with colors or lack of. And then one of your edges, I want it to either be with going like this with the clouds or with the water following the shape of the waves or the roots of a tree or the branches of a tree. So that's what we're going to work on next. And I'll have something to show you. I'll have an example next week of what I was thinking. So thank you so much for spending another Thursday night with me. And I can't wait to see what we do. And then I think after the one coming up, I might need to take a couple weeks just to relax a little bit. But I think this week when the doggy got sick, I'm like, okay, I'm pushing it. I'm walking too close to that edge. Tomorrow I've got an eye doctor's appointment. And then I'm picking up my granddaughter and bringing her over here so that we can finish her dress. So I've got a lot on my plate right now. So anyway, but thank you, everyone. Take good care. Yeah, okay. Oh, thank you, sweetie. I do enjoy it, but I tend to burn the candle at both ends, and it catches up with me. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone. It was so good to see you. And please subscribe and if you like it, hit it. And we will be back next week with this finished or close to it. And I'm learning. I've learned more from this quilt than I have any of them about color, texture, value. It's been very, very enlightening for me. So, and you know what? Now I'm noticing that the sun streaks aren't so noticeable. By the time you put a few more things in it, it's like, oh, now it looks just fine. All right. You take really good care. And I'll miss you all. I'll see you next Thursday. Also, this Sunday, I will see you for our live stream Quilt Sunday. Bye-bye, everybody. Take good care. Have a great evening.